Welcome back to my Graphic 45 12 by 12 Seize the Day layout tutorial series. Now in this video, this will be the last set of pages that I will be making, and it will actually be the first page of the album and the last page of the album, so the single pages. I'm calling them pages 15 and 16, but they're actually technically 1 and 16. I am using the bits and pieces that I have left over to create these pages. Now I have here in front of me page 14, which was done in the last video when we did 13 and 14, because the last page is going to be on the back side of this. So I am going to flip over to this side to get started. Now what I'm doing with this video is using all of the scrap pieces that I have left, so I will be piecing things together. The first thing I have is this red paper here, and it's the orange paper on the back side with the fish, but I'm going to be using it in this orientation. I did ink the edges only on the sides because that's the only part that we're going to see. Now from my border paper, I did have quite a bit of this left, purposefully leaving this until the end. I have a single row of postage stamps, and it's going to be up here, but I'm going to go with this one first. So I've got the postage stamps on the bottom, the starfish border, the sea turtle border, and then the purple seashell border. And I'm going to be placing this down here at the bottom of the page. Then I'm going to take my red paper and I'm going to tuck it just slightly. We're talking maybe 1/8 of an inch. It's going to be tucked underneath of there. And so I'm going to place those like this, and then I'll take my single border strip of the postage stamps and do the same thing at the top here, so that it's right at the top of my red paper. So I have quite a large area here in the center where you see the red paper itself. Now I'm taking this piece here. This is left over from a previous page, and I believe it's 4 by 6. So it is a 6 by 4, and I'm going to be placing it over here. And then I have a white photo mat, and this is cut to 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now, if you have your photo already and you want to just go ahead and place your photo straight down on the turtle paper without putting the white photo mat, that is perfectly fine to do. Now I'm going to be using several other pieces to finish this page. I have this piece here that I had cut from one of my frames. So we cut the frame from one of the pages, and I made sure to be very careful not to cut this image. I'm going to be using it, and I'll be placing it down here. Then the same thing with these ones. These are the smaller journaling cards. So on the back side of this layout, I used the frames around here, was very careful to cut these out. And so with these, I'm going to be placing these here and here. Now, if you don't like covering these with paper to make photo mats, then you can leave it plain like this if you like the look of that. But I've cut myself 2 small photo mats, and these are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I'm just going to place one here and one here. If you wanted to put a 4th photo on the page, you could also put one here as well over top of this one. So all of these photo mats, essentially, they aren't matching papers, but they're all that dark teal color. So they will look similar, and you won't really be able to tell that they're not the exact same papers. Now this is what my base is going to look like, and I'm going to then come in to do the first page, and then I'm going to add my embellishments to both of them at the same time to even them out. I'm going to purposely leave this blank up here, one, because I like the look of this coral paper, I think it's pretty, but also if you've been following along in this series, I've been trying to leave room for titles. That way, if you have titles or you prefer to put titles on your page, you do have the option of adding a title there. Here is my page with all of my pieces on. I will set this to the side for now to make room for this layout here. Now this was the first layout that we did, and it is on the Graphic 45 YouTube channel. I'm going to flip over to the back side of this paper, and this is where I am going to start. So this is page 1 of my album. Now, because of this yellow paper here with the way that this paper was made, I took advantage of the colors of the yellow and the teal whenever I selected my borders. So I am using two of my border strips that are identical. It's got that yellow in it here, so it's going to bring that out. Now I'm going to put one here at the top of the page, and then one here at the bottom of the page. And then I'll be working in this yellow area here with my photo mats. So my photo mat is cut to 4 inches by 3 7/8. And then this one is cut to 4 inches, or no, it might be the opposite. I might have put it, this is 3 7/8 this way. Let me check. It goes this way. This is 3 7/8 by 4 inches, 3 7/8 by 3 inches. And then 3 7/8 by 3 inches. And then we'll have 3 7/8 by 4 inches. So they will perfectly fit in this area here, with just a small space between all 4 of these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead first and just assemble all of these onto the base of my page. Now, once I have my photo mats on, I'm going to take my journaling card here and I'm going to position it over here. I'm going to be using just this side of it, but if you want the journaling spot, obviously you can turn it over this way so that you can do your journaling on here. But I'm going to be using mine for the decorative part, and I'll be placing it here sideways like this, overlapping slightly, so making sure that I don't adhere these pieces down. Now, once my journaling card is on, I'm going to bring in both of these pages. Now, they are the front and the back pages of the book, so they obviously don't go together like this, but I'm doing it like this because I'm going to be using all of the rest of my little pieces like this that have the fish pieces on them, and I'm going to cut these out so that I can add some embellishments on my pages. And then I do have this journaling card left over, and I will probably cut some of the fish from here too, but I'm going to start with these pieces. I've also got some of my coral here from this leftover piece of paper that I can cut too, and I've got a piece here that's got a few little pieces on it. So I'm just going to start cutting some of these pieces out, and then I will come back and position them on my pages. Now I'm going to be starting here on this page. I've got all of my embellishments just laying here for now, and I'm going to go through them one at a time. I went ahead and cut a strip of the Seize the Day border strip, and all you have to do is make sure that you cut it so that it is slightly longer than the piece here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of adhesive right here on the yellow paper on the sides. That might be down a little too far. And I am going to adhere this just like that. Now it will be open for the photos to slide underneath of it, and then this will just rest on top of those photos. Over here, I've also cut 3 postage stamp pieces from one of the postage stamp strips. I've got a piece of chipboard. I'm going to pop this up. I'm going to put this over here like this. I might need to cut this down a little bit to make it a little bit more narrow. And I am just going to apply this to the back edge of my piece. That way when I do this, it will not be on top of those white photo mats. So now I'm just going to bring it in here and angle it between these two, just like this. And then I have one of my turtle chipboard pieces. I'm just going to put this here, and I'm going to be very careful that it doesn't glue down to that white photo mat. Next, I'm going to come over here, and I've got another postage stamp piece that I'm going to put a chipboard piece on the back of. And then this one I'm going to place here. And I don't want to put too much of it over top of this photo mat because we've got a couple of other things over top of it now, so we have to be careful. Now this one down here I don't have to worry about because there isn't a photo mat. So I can just put my chipboard in the center, and then it's going to come down here like this. And then I've taken some of these little teeny tiny yellow fish and just cut a couple of them in groups. Just going to put a couple of them on the layout just to give a little bit more yellow color. So I've got one grouping there and then one grouping or two groupings up here. And then for these two in the center, I've cut very thin strips of chipboard that I'm going to be adhering to the yellow paper between the photo mats here. And this one I need to cut a little bit. It's a little bit too long. And I'm going to place it here. Then I'm going to take the larger fish and pop it up here. And then the smaller one will go on this one, just above it. Just like that. And now I'm going to move this one over and bring this one in, and we're going to start on this side. Now for this one, I'm going to start up here. I've got a piece of chipboard for my big fish. I'm going to place just right in the center. Now I'm going to start by placing this one just in the center of these photo mats, but just above them to where he's barely covering those pieces. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive here in the center between my photo mats. And I've got this little piece with the seashell, and I'm just going to place it up there, but at an angle. So it's tucking underneath of that fish, but it's adhering down right there. Then I've got this little fish, and I've got a piece of chipboard here for him. And I have my little seahorse and a piece of chipboard to place on the seahorse. And I will need to trim this one just a bit. And then I'm going to make a grouping with these ones. I think I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just add adhesive to my chipboard once I have them where I like them. And then I'm going to come down here. I have cut a piece of the purple border, and it is 4 inches to get to the photo mat, or the teal mat instead of the white photo mat. So what I'm going to do here is just apply a little bit of adhesive to the edges. And then I am going to come over here and adhere this down. So then the photo will tuck behind that. And I'm going to add some embellishments at the bottom of this and make a little cluster. So I've got a piece of chipboard here for my little aqua colored fish. And the rest are not going to have chipboard on them. So I've got this little piece of coral left over. And then I've got 2 starfish pieces and the little clownfish. So I think the clownfish is going to go towards the top, then my aqua fish, and going to tuck my starfish there. And then I'm going to take this one. Oh, this one isn't inked. And I'm going to add this one. Or do I change these? Do it this way. So I'm going to put it in a cluster like this. This one I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of adhesive onto my purple strip. Same thing with this. I'm actually going to just put the adhesive on here even though I've got that chipboard on there. And I'll put that there. And these pieces, I'm going to apply the adhesive to them and set them upside down for just a second. And then I'm going to start adding them in clusters, just like I had them. And once these pieces are on, I am going to just put the centers down and then I will lift up a little bit so that there will be some dimension on these pieces too. The last thing I'm going to do is add a couple of pearls to my pages to finish them off. So for this page, I've used some of my larger pearls and just put 3 here and 2 down here. So I've got this nice little embellishment cluster now. And then for this page, I've added 3 here and 3 here. I've just put 1 here, and then I've got 2 here and then 3 here. So that is all I am going to be doing for these pages. So this will be page 1 of the album, starting then into the series. This is the kickoff page that we did in the series. And then this is the back page. So this was page 14. And now this is page 16 technically. So that is it. I do have a little bit of paper left over. Obviously, if you followed along, you will see I've got, take that out. I've got some paper here. This is basically all of the paper that I have left out of that entire 12 by 12 pack. Now I could make 1 page out of this, but I don't have an actual backing page. So you could definitely do more with your Graphic 45 papers if you didn't use them as backing papers and you did solid papers for that. But I just wanted to see how many I could get out of a 12 by 12 collection pack. And it seems to be 16 for this collection, the way I designed my pages. I would love to know what you think about these layouts if you followed along or if you have been watching the series. And let me know if this is something that you would like to see for future Graphic 45 collections. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.